Is it? You can't tell. My watch is a little off. Oh, yeah. It's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, the most prominent and vital non-paid content creator in the IWC. And I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, December 11th, 2021. I need a drink. Woo! I'm running out of breath doing that intro over and over again, and I'm only 22. Woo! It is Saturday indeed. We have a lot to talk about, people. We definitely have a lot to talk about. Let's check the chat. Dee Dee is here. We got Adam Carl and Peanuts and Rob Wells Jr. A nice foundation to start off the show. Hopefully we see more people as the stream goes on. As of course, we need a lot more people in here than just 3. All right? It's vital. It is absolutely vital. But I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you, as always, taking the time out of your Saturday to come over here, talk wrestling with me, hang out, shoot the breeze, discuss any and all topics in the world of professional wrestling, the major topics going around. Now, before we get into the festivities here on the LFU, and we got a lot. We're talking about the plans for day one. We're talking about a potential free agent in the women's division going to AEW, potentially. We're going to talk about Jeff Hardy's release and what's going on with him and what I do believe the future may hold for him. But first things first, I do want to shout out my friend Dee Dee. Want to shout out Dee Dee because it is her father's birthday today. It is her father's birthday today, and I want everyone to go and send their happy birthday wishes to Dee Dee's dad. I know for a fact that he is very, very proud of everything that he's done in his life, and I know for a fact that Dee Dee's proud of him, and I know for a fact that Dee Dee loves him with all of her heart. So please send your birthday wishes to Dee Dee's dad, if you will. My girl Lisa's in the chat. Of course she is. Of course she is, because, I mean, she can't get enough of me. Forget about it, huh? She can't get enough of me. Anyway. Yes, Rob, I did see. Hold on a minute. The chat's moving too fast. Yes, indeed. Gargano has officially left WWE. He's a free agent. We'll talk about that as well. But first things first, obviously, happy birthday to Dee Dee's dad. And of course, we got to get through the normal festivities, the self-brand promotions, the advertisements before we get into the meat and potatoes. So, first things first, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram, the social media platforms at the DJ_Storms. That is the DJ_Storms, please. Go follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's the @ there. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description. If you guys missed the LFU from last week, please go check that one out. Special thank you to All Elite Mikey, who was on the rundown for NXT War Games. No takeover, just NXT War Games. That took place on Sunday. So please go show your support to Mikey. Follow him on Twitter at All Elite Mikey. Exactly how it's spelt right there. We are about 5-6 minutes into the stream. If you guys haven't liked the stream, I don't really know what the fuck you're doing because DJ Storms is live on YouTube. If you guys are in the stream and if you haven't liked, I am severely disappointed in you. You come on in, you got to hit the like button. It is the rules. I don't make the rules. Well, who the fuck am I kidding? Of course I do. I make the rules here. So please make sure you hit that like button when you come on into the stream. Of course, be sure to share out the stream on all platforms, social media. I'm talking about Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, and Facebook. Whatever social media platforms that you may use, please make sure you share out the stream on all those platforms of social media. Please make sure you notify everyone that DJ Storms is live on YouTube, your dogs, your cats, guinea pigs. You already know the drill. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, 7, 8, 9, 10 cousins, 12 times, 13 times, 14 times removed. It's vital. It's vital. Please make sure you share out the stream on all platforms, social media. Get as many people in here as possible. And of course, hit the subscribe button and drop that notifications bell. Drop a huge coup de grace on that notifications bell because that way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube because it's the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Ooh, look at it. It is gorgeous. Earl Cole's favorite part of the show, even though Earl Cole is not in the chat right now. I'm sure he will be at some point because Earl Cole is, of course, the #1 administrator in the DJ Storms Posse Facebook group, which, of course, you can join if you would like. The link is in the description. But regardless, this is for Earl Cole right here because we're going to light it up. We're going to light it up here on the LFU on a Saturday with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of like Campbell's soup. I'm like, our DJ Storms might as well be a Campbell's soup name. It might as well be a Campbell's soup flavor because I'm just so good. Because everybody wants a piece of Storms Meister. Campbell's soup, baby, Campbell's soup. Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. Yeah, I know, Adam. I see you in the chat. We're talking about wrestling. All right? I'm like Italian soup, says Lisa, because I'm so good. Anyway, gotta mention the iconic chin strap. Of course I do. You expect anything less from me? Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements. We're going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. Again, keep on sharing the stream out on all platforms of social media. It is going to be a big stream, as it always is. It's the most important stream in the IWC every single Saturday. We're going to start off the news, rumors, and reports with a rather interesting report. Kairi Sane. I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but Kairi Sane, she was a WWE superstar for a pretty decent amount of time. She left in July of 2020, and she became an ambassador for WWE. She became an ambassador in Japan. She wanted to move closer to Japan to be closer to her husband, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, be closer to her family. But recently, Kairi Sane dropped WWE from her Instagram handle and The bio to her social media pages refers to as former WWE superstar, end quote. And it was reported actually after this little stint that happened, and I believe it was Louis Dongor. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that guy's name. Whatever. He's a fucking loser anyway. Louis Dongor, he reported that Kairi Sane dropped WWE from her Instagram handle and changed her bio to saying former WWE superstar. It was later reported that Kairi Sane's ambassador contract with WWE had expired. So Kairi Sane is currently a free agent right now. And of course, Kairi Sane, she actually added fuel to this fire because she tweeted the side eyes emoji not that long ago. She tweeted the side eyes emoji, and this has created a lot of speculation. It created a lot of speculation that Kairi Sane could very well be exploring her outside options. Maybe she wants to get back in the ring. Maybe she wants to do something other than just advocate and embass for a company. Maybe we could very well see Kairi Sane venture out into the world and venture into the world of pro wrestling once again for different companies. And I'll tell you why this is happening. And you can discredit them all you want. You can call me a fanboy all you want. I don't give a shit. AEW has more of an effect on the world of pro wrestling than most people think. AEW is single-handedly changing the fucking world. I know they said it from the beginning, but AEW is doing just that. They are changing the fucking world as we speak. They're bringing people who had lost their passion for professional wrestling back to professional wrestling. They are making people rethink their contractual terms because AEW has now become the place for everyone to be. And Kairi Sane, I'm telling you right now, if you don't think that AEW had a factor in Kairi Sane letting her contract expire and potentially venturing out back into the professional wrestling world, I mean, you may be as stupid as I say you are. This is fucking huge, and I mean it. This is fucking huge. And Kenny Omega, he's been pretty vocal that he's a fan of Kairi Sane. Can you imagine if they get Kairi Sane? Think about this. In the next 4 to 6 months, if AEW was to secure Ember Moon, Athena, Tegan Nox, Nixon Newell, potentially Jordan Grace, potentially Taya Valkyrie, and potentially a Kairi Sane, I'm telling you right now, we could be looking at AEW having the best women's division in all of professional wrestling. If not all of professional wrestling, then maybe just North America. But this is fucking huge, and I mean huge. AEW has single-handedly sparked up a boom period in professional wrestling where every single company outside of WWE is really getting behind this boom period, and they're really getting behind the centerpiece, the epicenter focus point of professional wrestling, and they are just capitalizing on this period. They're capitalizing on the opportunity, and they are looking to make their company the best fucking company it could possibly be. Companies like GCW, companies like Impact as well, companies like MLW. It's big. It is a big fucking deal. And I don't want anyone to come at me with, oh, AEW's got too stacked of a roster. What are you complaining about with Tony Khan stacking his roster? This is a good thing because, A, if someone goes down with an injury or someone is off television like Kenny Omega, like a Jon Moxley, you know what AEW does? They have a lot of people to fall back on. On top of that, not everyone is going to be the world champion. Not everyone is going to be a big-time player in AEW. Tony Khan wants independent professional wrestling to thrive. Tony Khan loves professional wrestling. He doesn't just want to take everyone and kill all these independent promotions. He's allowing people who are signed to AEW contracts to do outside factors and do outside bookings. Guys like Joey Janela and guys like Tony Nese and other guys like that, Arya Daivari, guys like fucking Lance Archer and Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega and Andrade. They were all in different promotions. Just because you're signed to AEW doesn't mean that you're only going to compete for AEW. Tony Khan has a plan to potentially sign people so that way they can boost their name value, and then they help their careers in the long run, and they'll be able to get bookings after their AEW contract is done. So when they're done a lot of companies will be willing to offer them a nice hefty amount of money to go and work for their promotion. Tony Khan is not a guy that is just going to take and not give back. Tony Khan is giving back to not only professional wrestling fans, but professional wrestling promotions as well. Same thing if Kyle O'Reilly went there. Same thing if Johnny Gargano went there. I'm not saying they're going to be world fucking champions, but they're going to have some great matches, number one. And number two, Tony Khan is going to help their careers in the long run as their name value is going to be boosted tenfold. Can you imagine what their name value is going to be like working for WWE and AEW, the top two promotions in the world right now? Can you imagine that after those individuals could potentially be done with AEW after a 3-year deal? Can you imagine how many companies are going to be bidding on and off to see who's going to get them? Can you imagine how many promotions are going to be going to war for those individuals after they have tenured working for AEW and WWE? So please, stop fucking complaining that, oh, they're signing too many people. No, they're not. This is perfect. This is perfect what they're doing because they are helping everyone. They are helping promotions. They're helping fans. They're helping the wrestlers. Tony Khan is not signing people to keep them for himself. He's allowing people to go and do other bookings outside of AEW because he wants professional wrestling to thrive. If this was WWE, then I'd be complaining because WWE doesn't fucking work with anyone unless they can completely control the promotion, i.e. Evolve. If Kairi Sane goes to AEW, which I hope she does, I'm telling you right now, that women's division is going to be enhanced tenfold. It's going to be great. I got a report from Dave Meltzer, and he spoke about WWE Day One on the Wrestling Observer Radio. And Dave Meltzer, he noted that Nick Khan is looking to make it a new holiday tradition. He stated, and I quote, "Okay, the deal is that Day One is obviously a Nick Khan idea, you know, or the idea of January 1st, and the idea is not just this year doing it. The idea is that this will be a regular thing, a new holiday tradition for WWE. January 1st pay-per-view," end quote. Now, ultimately, this report of Day One becoming a yearly tradition, it's not really any major news, per se. It's not really a big-time game changer. It's not. It's just another fucking pay-per-view. At the end of the day, WWE pay-per-views, most of them anyway, most WWE pay-per-views fucking suck. Most WWE pay-per-views fucking suck at the end of the day, so why even bother? Why even bother complaining? The one thing that I am concerned about, and I don't care what they do, they could have one show, they could have 100 shows, they could have 15 minutes of a show, they could have 15 hours of a show. I don't give a shit how many shows they have. I don't give a shit how long they are. Just put on a good show with logical storylines. Wins and losses matter, with professional wrestling being the focal point of everything that you do. I don't give a shit how many shows they have. The thing that I am most focused on is whether or not the show is going to be good. Now, Day One, it's not looking like a bad card. It's actually looking like a better card than WrestleMania this year. You take a look at the card so far. We got Roman and Lesnar. We got Big E, Kevin Owens, and Rollins. We got Usos in the New Day, Edge and The Miz. Potentially a Toni Storm and a Charlotte Flair. Potentially a Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch rematch. Potentially we could get the Street Profits and RK Bro. Potentially we could get Damien Priest defending the U.S. title on the show. If I was booking that, I would book Finn Balor. That's a damn good fucking card. And if it turns out to be a decent show, then I won't complain. But at the end of the day, who gives a shit whether it's going to be a yearly tradition or not? All I care about is whether or not they put on a good show. And 99% of the time, WWE shows, weekly shows, and pay-per-views shit the bed. Alexa Bliss. She provided an update to fans as to what her return date is like. All she tweeted out was, and I quote, "Just wait," with a GIF, I believe it was from Mean Girls, of one of the main characters just standing there with their arms crossed. in the hallway of the high school where everyone's throwing around papers and paper airplanes and fucking spitballs and pencils and calculators. So she tweeted out, and I quote, "Just wait." And this implied that you have to have patience because her return is coming sooner rather than later. Now, I don't really give a shit. Again, just like day one, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit because all I'm concerned about is whether or not Alexa Bliss can actually wrestle. And Alexa Bliss hasn't been able to properly wrestle in nearly 5 fucking years. The longer Alexa Bliss is off of television, the better. I'm still wondering how Alexa Bliss still has a contract, but yet you released Deonna Purrazzo, Keith Lee, and Ruby Riott, and Ember Moon, and Sarah Logan, and Tegan Nox, and Karrion Kross, and Buddy Murphy, and Andrade, and Aleister Black, but yet Alexa Bliss still has a job. Man, she must be riding Nick Khan like there's no tomorrow. Wink, wink. I don't care. Longer Alexa Bliss is off of television, the happier I am. We talked about contracts expiring. Johnny Gargano, his contract expired as he was taken out by Grayson Waller on NXT, and WWE gave a big fuck you to Johnny Gargano. Same thing with Kyle O'Reilly as he put over Von Wagner. I still don't know where they came up with the name Von Wagner. I would love to know the origins of the name Von Wagner. And then we got Kairi Sane, her contract expiring. According to Sean Ross Sapp, by way of Ringside News, let's talk about a contract that is not expiring anytime soon. Roderick Strong, he signed a new WWE deal, and this came out since many were asking about Roderick Strong's contract since Kyle O'Reilly was on his way out the door. So Sapp stated, and I quote, "For those asking, Roderick Strong re-signed with WWE earlier this year." Let me tell you something. He may have re-signed, but that's not going to last long. That's not going to last long. Roderick Strong is currently the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, which I'm actually quite shocked that he is still the champion. I'm actually quite shocked that Joe Gacy did not win the championship at NXT War Games last Sunday. I am actually immensely shocked that Joe Gacy did not eradicate the Cruiserweight Championship. But Roderick Strong is still the Cruiserweight Champion, surprisingly. He's currently signed to NXT and WWE, and he re-signed a new WWE deal earlier this year. I'm here to tell you that that's not going to last long. Because you know Roderick Strong is going to lose that Cruiserweight title sooner rather than later. Roderick Strong is not going to be Cruiserweight Champion forever. And the moment that he loses that Cruiserweight Championship, Nick Khan and Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard will not bat an eye at him. They will cut him within the blink of an eye. And you know why? Because he was a Triple H guy. All the success that Roderick Strong has had in the WWE has been because of Triple H. Why do you think that Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller and fucking Carmelo Hayes and Tony D'Angelo, they're all great, but at the end of the day, why do you think that they are getting so much showcase? Why do you think that they have been so successful in NXT so far? It's because they are Vince McMahon projects. And I'm not even giving Bruce and Vince any credit. I am attributing the success of those 4 men to the fact that those 4 men are just that good at what they do. I'm contributing the success to the fact that those 4 men are fantastic characters and professional wrestlers. So at the end of the day, Bruce and Vince, they don't get jack shit. But the reason why they are getting so much showcase is because they are Vince McMahon guys. Roderick Strong was not a Vince McMahon guy. Matter of fact, I am actually shocked that Roderick Strong is still employed. I'm actually shocked that Roderick Strong even beat Kushida. I thought that they were going to release Roderick Strong just like they released Tyler Rust from Diamond Mine. At the end of the day, this means nothing. Whether or not he resigned or not, at the end of the day, Roderick Strong is going to be released within weeks after losing the Cruiserweight Championship. If Roderick Strong makes it to the end of next year as an employee of WWE, I would be dead shocked. Dead shocked. But for those asking about Roderick Strong, he re-signed a new deal, but it's not going to mean anything because he'll be released as soon as he loses the Cruiserweight title. Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer talked about why Lesnar and Reigns is taking place at WWE Day One. He said that they really want to establish Day One. He stated, and I quote, "To establish this as a traditional big show, and the idea is to make this one of the biggest shows of the year. You need to establish it. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns is the strongest match they've got. So that's the match they chose to establish it. The feeling is that the Royal Rumble didn't need it. They're trying to establish January 1st as one of the biggest shows of the year, and so they're going to put their biggest match in there." End quote. I stated not that long ago that WWE, they put this match on the show because they are currently desperate. And this just further validates that. WWE is becoming more and more desperate by the week. They're becoming more and more desperate to generate some interest in their dying product. And Lesnar and Reigns, they think that this is really going to spark up the interest. I mean, to a certain extent, yes, because Roman Reigns is very good, and Roman Reigns has been fantastic in the role that he's been given. Brock Lesnar has been fantastic in the role that he's been given ever since he came back, to a point where I actually want to see Brock Lesnar on television. Because Brock Lesnar, he has been delivering some very, very, very good segments with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. They're great. They're great. I actually want to see Brock Lesnar on television, but at the end of the day, this just validates exactly what I said. WWE is bringing back Edge, and they're bringing back Lesnar, and they're probably going to bring back Goldberg in time for WrestleMania, God fucking forbid, but they're bringing back all of these legends in order to spark up some interest because the product fucking sucks. Look at what they did last night on SmackDown. They had RK Bro, the Raw Tag Team Champions, come over from Raw to compete on SmackDown because Reigns wasn't there. I mean, if you need any more fucking layers to the fact that WWE is desperate, I mean, there you go. I don't really know what else to say there. WWE is getting as desperate as they've ever been. And the fact that Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was fast-tracked from WrestleMania to Day One, because I had it in my mind that Lesnar was going to win the Royal Rumble. Now, they could very well still win. They could very well still go that route. We could very well still have Lesnar win the Rumble, and we could very well still have Lesnar fight Reigns at WrestleMania, which would be a terrible decision. Just put Lesnar and Reigns in a WrestleMania main event match anyway. Don't even fucking give me Lesnar winning the Rumble. Balor or Riddle are your top two to win the Rumble. Plain and simple. If it's not either one of those two, don't fucking bother. But as far as this match at Day One, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure it'll be a good match, and I'm pretty sure if they play their cards right, Day One could very well be a very good pay-per-view, wrestling-wise. But at the end of the day, this just validates the desperation for WWE. They're becoming more and more desperate by the minute. And putting Lesnar and Reigns on the show, that just goes to show you how desperate they are. Maybe, just maybe, if you built up someone new, if you built up individuals to be on the level of a Brock Lesnar or a Roman Reigns, and you had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 individuals on the level of a Roman Reigns and a Brock Lesnar, maybe you wouldn't have to call upon an Edge. Maybe you wouldn't have to call upon a Brock Lesnar. Maybe you wouldn't have to call upon a John Cena. Maybe you wouldn't have to call upon a fucking Goldberg. It's fucking stupid. WWE does not know what the fuck they are doing. They really don't. The main story. The main story this week was Jeff Hardy. The main story this week was Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was the major news topic in wrestling this week. PW Insider reported that Jeff Hardy was sent home from a house show over the weekend. He was involved in a big six-man tag team match, I believe. Drew McIntyre was on Jeff Hardy's team. Jeff Hardy made a hot tag to Drew McIntyre and then disappeared into the crowd. This was described as a rough night for Jeff Hardy. This led to speculation that Jeff Hardy might have had another relapse because he has history with substance abuse and alcoholism. His brother Matt Hardy, he then took to Twitch to talk about Jeff Hardy for a brief moment. He stated, and I quote, "I did speak to Jeff a little bit today, and he's okay. He's good, and I think he'll be fine. But once again, this isn't my business. And if he wants to go into it in more detail, then he'll do it himself. But Jeff is okay. He is at home, and he is okay. It's not my business. It's not my story to tell or explain. Besides that, I wouldn't be able to do it justice anyway because it's not from my perspective. So I love my brother, and I just want my brother to be okay and healthy. That's pretty much it." On Thursday, around noon, I would say, Sean Ross Sapp tweeted out that Jeff Hardy had been released from his WWE contract. He also sent out a follow-up stating, and I quote, "I've heard WWE offered Jeff Hardy help and rehab, and it was not accepted. Here's to hoping things get better for him." End quote. Now, initially, I didn't want to think that there was a relapse, but then he was released on Thursday. I was working, I get to lunch, and I see he'd been released. And I'm like, motherfucker. I didn't think it was this bad, but it may have very well turned out to be this bad. Jeff Hardy is an individual that has been cursed. Jeff Hardy is one of the most gracious and humble individuals on the face of the planet. I don't think I've ever seen a guy who had achieved so much. He's achieved so much, and he never let the fame go to his head. He never let the fame go to his head. He never thought he was bigger than anyone else. He never got cocky. Jeff Hardy always remained humble. He always remained humble. He always remained faithful. He always remained gracious and loyal to his fans. He remained loyal to his friends, his family. Jeff Hardy never, ever, ever let fame go to his head. But unfortunately, he was cursed with addiction. And let me tell you something. I know how bad addiction can be. Me, I have never personally gone through addiction because I am straight edge. And thankfully, I do not have any family members that have suffered through addiction. Thank Christ. But I can only imagine that it is terrible. I can only imagine that it plagues someone's life. I can only imagine that it is a terrible, terrible, terrible fucking thing. Jeff Hardy, out of all people, does not deserve to go through what he's going through. He does not deserve to go through anything that he's going through right now. And it sucks that this had to happen to him. But from the way that things are playing out as we speak, I have a feeling that Jeff Hardy is not going to get better off of this. And I don't want to believe that, but there are two types of people with addiction. There are two types of groups. Group A is a group of people that know that they have a problem. They know that they have a problem, and they catch it early. They catch it early so that way they save themselves and they kick this nasty fucking habit before it takes everything away from their life. Jon Moxley is an example of that. Jon Moxley realized that he had a fucking problem, and he took it upon himself. He took it upon himself to put himself in an alcoholic rehab program because he knew that this was only going to get worse from where it was originally at, and he wanted to save himself. He wanted to save himself before he lost everything. He wanted to save himself before he lost his family, before he lost his job, before he lost his reputation, and more. Jon Moxley is in Group A. And then there's Group B. Group B is a group of individuals that have the addiction problem, and it's become so bad that it is to a point where they can go through rehab after rehab after rehab after rehab, and they're going to keep relapsing until they inevitably hit rock bottom. And then we'll find out just what kind of person they are. Those types of people are individuals that are not going to stop until they've lost everything, until they've lost their home, their family, their reputation, their job, their car, and themselves. And then, and only then are we going to find out what type of person they are. Are they just going to let their demons take them and ultimately kill them? Or are they going to finally put their foot down and say, enough is enough. I am sick and tired of losing everything. And I have this sick feeling that Jeff Hardy is unfortunately in Group B. And I don't want that to happen to Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy doesn't deserve that. Jeff Hardy doesn't deserve that because he has been such a gracious and generous human being. He's one of the most genuine people in the wrestling world. I don't think I've ever seen a guy more genuine than Jeff Hardy. So at the end of the fucking day, Jeff Hardy, I don't want it to happen, but I have a feeling that he's not going to make this decision to ultimately either let his demons kill him or change his life until he's lost everything. That's ultimately what it's going to come to. And I don't want that to happen. I'm actually praying right now that his job, is the only thing that he loses in this moment. Because I want him to get better. I want him healthy. I want him happy. And I want him sober. I want him sober. The one thing that I absolutely fucking hate is everyone's trying to come out and say that, oh my God, Jeff Hardy's going to go to AEW. Oh, Jeff Hardy, he's finally free. This is bigger than that. This is bigger than any of that. Now, I understand that maybe, just maybe, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could potentially be looking at something where Jeff Hardy purposely did this to get himself out of his WWE contract. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Jeff Hardy would go that far because Jeff Hardy has never been one to conspire. He's never been one to conspire. He's never been one to bullshit. Jeff Hardy has always remained loyal. He's always remained honest. And he's not someone to do something that's sneaky. He's really not. So at the end of the day, I am going off of the fact that this is legit. This is legit, and we could very well be looking at another relapse for Jeff Hardy. This is bigger than WWE. This is bigger than AEW. This is bigger than creative freedom. This is bigger than wrestling fandom. This is bigger than any of that. This is about a man's life. This is about a man's health. What needs to be done is Jeff Hardy needs to sit down, relax, and really contemplate what is most important to him. He needs to sit down, relax with his family, and really contemplate that this shit is not worth it. Drugs and alcohol, this shit is not worth it at all. Because if he doesn't, then I don't think he's ever going to find work anywhere else. That was the last straw. Tony Khan's not even going to touch him. He's not even going to touch him because if Tony Khan is going to give Jeff Hardy a chance, then Jeff Hardy's going to have to work his fucking ass off to show everyone that he is legitimately serious about changing. This shit is no joke. This is bigger than anything pro wrestling related. This is about the well-being of Jeffrey Nero Hardy. And if shit does not get better, I am telling you right now, Jeff Hardy's life is only going to continue to sink lower and lower and lower. How many times can you fuck up and just expect people to turn the blind eye and turn the other cheek and brush it off the shoulder and expect people to give you another chance. You're not going to. And I'm telling you right now, based on Jeff Hardy's wife's statement, his wife Beth, based on his wife's statement, you could tell that his wife is legitimately pissed off with him. I know that Matt Hardy kind of said that, hey, this is really not my battle. This is not my situation to get involved in. I know Matt Hardy said that, but you can imagine that outside of social media, outside of wrestling, you can imagine that Matt Hardy is probably sitting Jeff down right now, and he's talking to him, and he's saying, listen, man, I love you to death. I love you to death, and I will guard you. I will guard your life to the day that I die, but you need to get your shit together. Because if you don't, you are going to lose everything, and I'm not going to be able to be there to save your ass. You can imagine that Matt Hardy is having a long, drawn-out talk. Matt Hardy could have been talking to Jeff for the last 5 days, for all we know. Matt Hardy could have been talking to Jeff all fucking week, for all we know. This is no fucking joke. This is no fucking joke. This is absolutely nothing to be joking about. This is nothing to be fantasizing about as far as Jeff Hardy's career booking goes. Jeff Hardy needs fucking help. Jeff Hardy needs help, and Jeff Hardy needs to sit down, relax, and really, really think about what is going to be in the future for his life. What is going to take place? Because if he doesn't, and he just brushes this off again, he's going to continue losing everything ultimately until he hits rock bottom. And unfortunately, that is the only way that Jeff Hardy's going to make that ultimate decision, whether or not he's going to let his demons take him or finally put his foot down and get better. For himself, first and foremost. My thoughts and prayers are with Jeff Hardy, and I really hope to God that this is the only thing that Jeff Hardy loses in this moment. If he was to lose one thing and one thing only, I would say have him lose his job for the moment. That way he can really contemplate what is most important, because this shit is not a fucking joke. Those are the news, rumors, and reports. My thoughts and prayers are with Jeff Hardy, and I'm pretty sure everyone here is collectively sending their thoughts and prayers to Jeff Hardy. I apologize, Lisa. That we had to deal with some fucking prick trolling you in the chat. Unfortunately, that is to be expected here on the DJ Storms channel because people are fucking assholes in more ways than one, but I apologize that you had to go through that. I really do hope that you're okay. I hope that didn't really get under your skin too much, and I hope that hopefully that's the last troll that we deal with for today. But regardless, we have a lot to talk about. We have a lot more to talk about. We got to talk about some weekly shows. We're going to talk about Raw next. Thank you to Hoolagrim. Thank you, Earl. Thank you, Rob Wells Jr. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Adam Carl. You guys are fantastic. Thank you, David Maniscalco. Thank you to Mr. Rasin Surratt. Can't really pronounce your name all too good. I apologize. I'm not too good with names. But regardless, thank you everyone for stopping by the channel. Thank you everyone for sticking by the channel. We got 5 shows to dissect. We're going to start with Monday Night Raw, which was absolutely fucking terrible. Absolutely terrible. Monday Night Raw kicked off with a steel cage match. This was Kevin Owens versus Big E. Steel cage match. Big E went to spear Kevin Owens into the cage. He sent himself into the cage by mistake. Coming back from commercial, Owens kept the pressure on Big E. Big E was caught with a sunset flip powerbomb by Kevin Owens off the top rope for a 2. Big E with a belly-to-belly barrage. Kevin Owens with a super kick and a cannonball for a 2. We had a Boston Crab by Owens. Big E crawled to the door, but Rollins came out of nowhere and he slammed the cage door into Owens' face and Big E's face. Coming back from second commercial, Owens with a frog splash on Big E for a 2. Big E with a Uranagi for a 2. And a pop-up powerbomb by Kevin Owens. Both men went up to the top of the cage. Big E with a middle rope big ending. And Big E was able to escape through the door. Afterwards, Rollins then attacked Big E. And he attacked Kevin Owens as well. And then, during the commercial break, Bobby Lashley came out. And he attacked Rollins, Big E, and Owens. And they replayed it after they came back from commercial. Listen, I'm not going to say that this was a bad match. I'm not going to say that this was a terrible match. I'm not going to say that Big E's not great. I'm not going to say that Owens is not great. I'm not going to say that Rollins is not great. But this feud legitimately has no heat behind it. And I'm not even blaming any of them. I'm not blaming Owens. I'm not blaming Big E. I'm not blaming Rollins. I'm not even blaming the matches that they've been putting on, because they've been putting on some decent matches. You know what the problem is? I've mentioned this numerous amounts of times. The WWE product right now has such a shitty vibe around it. And that is WWE's fault. That's WWE's fault for booking their show like shit. The WWE has such a shitty vibe around it. Like, I don't give a shit. This show sucks. This show has so many people that should be booked better. They released all these fucking superstars. The vibe around WWE is just such a shitty vibe right now, to a point where it's affecting the few decent things on the show. Rollins, Owens, and Big E hasn't been a terrible program, but the fact of the matter is the fact that the WWE product is just so fucking bad, to a point where people don't even give a shit about the decent things. Rollins is putting on a fantastic performance as this heel. Big E's been putting on very good matches as the WWE champion. Everybody loves Kevin Owens. But at the end of the day, the WWE product sucks. Nobody gives a shit. And these guys, I feel bad for these guys. I legitimately feel bad for these guys, because this is a WWE Championship title feud, and nobody gives a shit about it because of how bad the show has been booked. There's nobody to blame but Vince, Bruce, Johnny 5 Packs of Cigarettes, Nick Khan, and Timmy Turner, Kevin Dunn. Those are the only people to blame. I don't blame any of the competitors on the show. They're working their ass off, and they're fucking trying. And I'm telling you, they're trying. They really are. They're trying their fucking asses off to try and make this feud something of substance, and it's just not working because of how shitty the WWE product is. And I feel bad for them. I really do. I feel bad for them. Decent match. No one gives a shit. Zelina Vega and Carmella came out, and they were bashing Nikki Cross, Nikki Trash, and Memphis, Tennessee. The Hicks in Memphis, Tennessee. They were bashing them. Fucking terrible fucking accent by Queen Zelina. I'm actually shocked that she still has a fucking job. And we all know why she has a fucking job. Let's be real here. We all know why she has a fucking job. She has a fucking job because they want to rub it in the face of Malachi Black that his wife's a bigger star than he is. But we all know that that's not true. Nikki Trash versus Queen Zelina. Vega won in 3 minutes. Who gives a shit? Zelina Vega, I'm telling you right now, Zelina Vega is one of the most worthless signings in all of WWE. She fucking sucks. How is it you release Taya Valkyrie, Deonna Purrazzo, Sarah Logan, Ruby Riott, Ember Moon, Tegan Nox, but you keep fucking Zelina Vega on the show? She can't do anything but a fucking code red. I'm surprised Nikki Ash is still employed. Street Profits versus AJ Styles and Black Great Khali, aka Omos. Swear to God, the guy, I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck people see in Omos. I don't even know why Omos was even offered a fucking contract. This guy is a carbon fucking copy of the Great Khali. The only difference is the Great Khali is Indian and Omos is African American. And I don't want to hear a single fucking peep out of anybody. Now, the tag team division doesn't really mean anything anyway, but why exactly were AJ and Omos in this tournament? Why exactly are they still a team? No one gives a shit about the storyline. No one gives a shit about the breakup. Nobody gives a shit about the online, the live soap opera type drama that you're trying to tell with Omos and AJ. No one gave a shit about Omos when AJ brought him in as his bodyguard. No one gives a shit about Omos as AJ's tag team partner. Omos was a non-factor then. He's a non-factor now. Just break them up already. Put AJ in the WWE title picture against Big E. Send Omos to the unemployment line. Why exactly are they still a team? Just break them up. Stop fucking stalling and just send AJ back to the main event and send Omos to the unemployment line and be fucking done with it. Why exactly are they in this tournament? No one gives a shit about the story that they're trying to tell. Why weren't Cedric and Shelton in this tournament? Why wasn't the Hurt Business in this tournament? Don't you think it would have made the tournament just slightly more interesting if you had included the Hurt Business? Don't you think the tournament would have been slightly more interesting if you had given us the Hurt Business versus the Street Profits and then the Mysterios versus the Alpha Academy? It actually would have been slightly more intriguing. If you weren't going to have the Hurt Business in the tag team title hunt, at least give me something like Cedric versus Damien Priest or fucking Shelton Benjamin versus Damien Priest. That would have been immensely better. Come on. This was the semifinals of the RK Bronament. So, Omos tagged himself in when Styles went for the Phenomenal Forearm. He was throwing around Dawkins on the outside. Then he was throwing around Montez Ford. And like a fucking dumbass, I mean, man, you really want us to believe that Omos is as dumb as the Great Khali, huh? So, Omos, he was tossing around the Street Profits on the outside. He tossed Montez Ford back in the ring. And like a fucking retard, he goes right back after Angelo Dawkins. And he gets himself counted out. And AJ was trying to talk to him, saying that you got to listen to me. You got to listen. We got to focus on this team. And then Omos just walked away. And then Riddle tried to get a word with AJ Styles. He was acting like a fucking TMZ interviewer. And that was pretty much that. Who gives a shit? Who cares? Right outcome. Thank fucking Christ that Omos and AJ Styles didn't advance. But why exactly are they telling the story? No one gives a shit. Break them up. Break them up. Omos should have never been added to AJ Styles' act to begin with. That's it. Damien Priest, another guy I feel sorry for. Damien Priest, another guy I feel sorry for. Damien Priest is fantastic. Damien Priest is one of the very few individuals that has actually been protected coming up from NXT. He is one of the few individuals besides The Shield and the Four Horsewomen that has broken through the glass ceiling and actually made something of himself on the main roster. And I feel terrible that Damien Priest is being resorted to nothing. He feels like an afterthought, yet he's the United States champion. He's defending the title each and every single week on television, so he's being booked like a champion. He's being protected like a champion. But again, no one gives a shit because nobody cares about the WWE product. You know why? Because everyone else around him is booked like a fucking bum. Robert Roode, his opponent, is a fucking bum. AJ Styles is a bum. Dominic and Rey Mysterio are bums. Cedric and Shelton, bums. Austin Theory, he's a semi-bum. He's a semi-bum because he's got Vince McMahon in his corner, I think. You know why AEW is thriving in terms of their mid-card? It's because they book the individuals on their show like actual fucking superstars. They don't do an open challenge every fucking week. They bring in people with legitimacy. They have legitimate fighters. They have legitimate professional wrestlers on their show with credibility. Ethan Page, when he got his TNT title match against Sammy Guevara, Ethan Page, He was unpinned and unsubmitted before his match with Sammy Guevara a couple months back. Jay Lethal. I mean, you can't get any more legit than Jay Lethal. Look at what he's accomplished in his career. Tony Nese, he was 4-0 before he got his title match against Sammy Guevara on Rampage. He won matches. They build up everyone else around their champions as legitimate. When was the last time Robert Roode actually got a legitimate streak of wins going for himself? Never. Robert Roode was fucking wasted. Wasted. Roode was fucking wasted here. And Damien Priest, he is never going to reach full potential if WWE does not start booking him like a legitimate fucking champion. And what I mean by that is giving him legitimate opponents, not bums to face. Anyway, Damien Priest and Robert Roode, listen, I'm not going to completely shit on the match. I'm not going to completely shit on the match. The match wasn't terrible. The match wasn't bad. I mean, Robert Roode and Damien Priest, I don't think it's ever going to be a bad match between those two. Those two are very good pro wrestlers. They're very good wrestlers, and I feel terrible that they are booked like shit. Damien Priest and Robert Roode deserve a hell of a lot better. This wasn't a terrible match. Priest was sent into the steps in the and over the barricade. Roode came back with a blockbuster for a 2. Priest came back with a couple of strikes and a broken arrow. We had a backstabber on Priest by Robert Roode for a 2. Robert Roode with a beautiful spine buster. That got a 2. Priest inevitably hit the Reckoning, and he won. Another successful title defense for Damien Priest. At this rate, Damien Priest should hold that fucking title until WrestleMania because there's legitimately no one built up enough to take it off of him. Have him hold it until WrestleMania. Ziggler super kicked Damien Priest, and no one cares. So I'm guessing next week we'll get Ziggler versus Priest in a U.S. Open challenge. Doudrop versus Bianca Belair. Doudrop versus Bianca Belair. So, Doudrop came running out. Doudrop came running out to attack Bianca before the match even started. Doudrop was ragdolling Bianca Belair around. Bianca tried to fight back. She did. She had a crossbody for a 2. Doudrop with a Vader bomb. Very nice looking Vader bomb for a 2. Doudrop missed a cannonball, and Bianca Belair tried to power her up for the KOD. She merely stumbled. So she was almost there. She was going to hit it. Did not work out. Doudrop then walked up the ramp like a dunce, smacked her ass, and she walked away. She got herself counted out. Who gives a shit? Seriously, who gives a shit? Why is this feud continuing? Why is this feud continuing? No one gives a shit about Bianca. You already buried her at SummerSlam, and no one gives a shit about Doudrop because of that fucking name. You may as well just get to the point, have Doudrop beat Bianca Belair so we can finally officially pronounce her buried, and then we can move on from this shit. Who am I fucking kidding? Nothing that they do is even halfway fucking interesting. Bianca's done, and Doudrop's done. I'm surprised Doudrop is still employed. Austin Theory. He was in Vince McMahon's office again, and we were going to see what Vince McMahon had in store for Mr. Austin Theory. Miz TV, fucking Mike Mizanin TV. Miz came in, he soaked in the fact that he got a compliment from Edge, and then he invited Edge out to the ring. Am I the only one that's thinking this right here? Am I the only one that's thinking this? These two were having a fierce war of words last week on Raw, right? These two were having a fierce war of words last week on Raw, yet Edge is just casually accepting an invitation from Miz onto Miz TV. Does anyone find that to be fucking retarded? Does anyone find that to be fucking stupid and illogical? Or is it just me? Or am I too smart for everyone else in this fucking dead-ass dog shit community? So Edge came out. He trashed Miz's shoes. Miz talked about getting kicked out of the locker room because he was so much more famous than everyone else. Man, Miz, I'm telling you, Miz is this close to following the Dolph Ziggler route. He could be a fucking shitty stand-up comedian. Edge goes, in this arena, I pulled you aside to give you some words of encouragement, and you brushed me off. I didn't walk into the locker room and think I'm bigger than everyone else. I don't hold people down. Look in the mirror. It'll tell you the same thing it told you in 2006. Miz, you're an ass. You're an ass, said Edge. Miz said, you're a hypocrite, and I can't think of a better way to bring in 2022 than beating you at January 1. Edge then accepted, and he dared the Miz to fight him now, and then Miz was going to say no, and it's not because I'm scared. All of a sudden, Edge lunged at the Miz fell down, and Edge goes, not scared, threw the mic down, and walked away. Can someone please, I would love for someone to legitimately tell me, what is it about this program that is so interesting? What exactly is it about this program that has people legitimately interested? Do people even realize that The Miz is a dead fucking act? Do people even realize that The Miz holds no value? Seriously. Now, and on top of that, The Miz, he lost to fucking Bad Bunny, who's about as thin as a fucking twig. Bad Bunny is about as thin as a fucking twig, but yet you want me to take him seriously against Edge, who just went through a fucking war inside Hell in a Cell. He got sunset flip powerbombed off a ladder. He got fucking super kicked with a chain. He got stomped into oblivion. He got sent into the Hell in a Cell, yet you want me to believe that The Miz has a fucking fighting chance against Edge, and The Miz lost to a guy who's as thin as a fucking twig, and he's not even a fucking professional wrestler? But The Miz has a chance against Edge. But oh my God, this is going to be such a great fucking match, right? Miz was rapping about fucking bunnies. He was surrounded by fucking Easter bunnies on WrestleMania Night 1, rapping. But yet you want me to take him seriously against Edge. I'll say it once and I'll say it again. I am counting down the days until The Miz retires, because the guy holds no value at all. No one gives a shit about this program, and whatever happens with Edge after this program, people will ultimately forget that Edge and Miz even feuded. Alpha Academy versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio. This was the first round of the RK Bronament. Dominic rolled up Gable in 3 minutes to win. Chad Gable is as good as gone. And then Riddle got in the ring to interview the Alpha Academy, only to get dropped by Otis. Vince McMahon was with Austin Theory in his office, and he asked for Austin Theory to impress him because he's not wrestling. So Austin Theory decided to go out and impress Vince McMahon. And he impressed Vince McMahon by taking out Finn Balor. Balor hit the coup de grace to win a match against T-Bar, who's going to ultimately fall to Nick Khan sooner rather than later. And then Austin Theory attacked Balor and took a selfie with him. Street Profits versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio is set for next week. And then in the main event, we had Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch. This was for the Raw Women's Championship. This wasn't a bad match. This was a pretty decent match. Liv Morgan, this was probably the best match of Liv Morgan's career. Not even going to lie, this was probably the best match of Liv Morgan's career. Liv Morgan made it a mission to work her fucking ass off in this match, and I gotta say, she looked damn good. She looked damn good. Liv Morgan was in control. She had a big code breaker and a very nice looking suicide dive to the floor. Very nice looking suicide dive to the floor. Becky came back with a superplex to Liv Morgan. Coming back from commercial, Becky Lynch with an inverted DDT for a 2. We had Liv Morgan going up top. Becky shoved her down. Becky went for a diving leg drop, and she missed it. Becky missed the leg drop. Then all of a sudden, we had Liv Morgan with a step-up enziguri and this beautiful looking code breaker. Really, 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 really nice looking code breaker off the ropes. That got a nice near fall. Very nice near fall right there. We had Becky on the apron. Morgan with a slingshot stomp to Becky. She stomped and stomped and stomped and stomped on the back of Becky's head. Then we had Morgan with a missile drop kick for a 2. Liv Morgan then locked in a modified Rings of Saturn. He locked in a modified Rings of Saturn. And then Becky was able to reverse it. Liv Morgan was locked in the disarmor. She was able to get to the ropes. Becky then rolled up Liv Morgan, grabbing the ropes, and Becky Lynch retains the title. Now, the match was decent. I'm not going to shit on the match. It was a decent match, a decent women's match for what it was. But let me ask you this. Why exactly did you book this match in the main event? Why did you book this match on Raw at all if we were just going to get this being the ultimate ending to it? With the way that you hyped up Liv Morgan, at the end of the fucking day, realistically, she should have won, right? But she wasn't going to fucking win. She wasn't going to fucking win because at the end of the fucking day, no one is going to beat Becky Lynch. The only person that's beating Becky Lynch is Bayley if she's ready to come back. And I doubt that she's ready to come back by the time WrestleMania rolls around. We could be waiting till SummerSlam to have Becky Lynch versus Bayley. But at the end of the day, this looks to be a way to get Liv Morgan another title opportunity. This looks to be a way to get Liv Morgan another title opportunity at Day One. And if she wins the title, she ain't holding it for long. She wins the title. She'll lose it back to Becky at the Royal Rumble. And ultimately, we are going to see Liv Morgan fired after WrestleMania 38 this year. And that's pretty much it. And Liv Morgan, nothing special. A burial. Same shit, different day. How many fucking times has Becky Lynch won a match with her hand on the ropes? She beat Sasha at Crown Jewel with her hand on the rope. She beat Bianca Belair with her hand on the rope. She beat Charlotte Flair with her hand on the rope. And she beat Liv Morgan here with her hand on the rope. That's all Becky Lynch can do. Do you remember when Jinder Mahal was the WWE champion? I know people want to forget about that, but do you remember when Jinder Mahal was the WWE champion? Remember when he was the WWE champion? Do you remember every single time he defended that title, it was the same fucking ending over and over and over again. It was the same fucking ending. The Singh brothers get involved, Khalas. Singh brothers get involved, Khalas. Singh brothers get involved, Khalas. That's exactly what this is right here. Becky Lynch is receiving the Jinder Mahal type booking. She wins every single fucking time with the help of the Singh brothers. That's it. It is becoming redundant. It is becoming ridiculous. And I am sick and fucking tired of it. I really am sick and fucking tired of it. I don't even know at this rate how anyone could even take Becky Lynch seriously. She's terrible at cutting promos. She's booked like a fucking, like she can't win on her fucking own. Her heel work has been fucking terrible. No one wants to fucking boo Becky Lynch. Who gives a shit? Seriously, the women's division is absolutely fucking terrible. It's terrible. And don't get your fucking hopes up. Liv Morgan's going to win the championship. She'll lose it right back to Becky at the Rumble, rendering the win at Day One, if she wins at Day One, rendering it completely fucking useless. Nobody will give a shit. Raw sucks. The WWE product sucks. And anyone that supports it sucks. Thank you guys for sticking by me. You are a beacon of light in this shitty community that is the IWC. You guys have been fantastic all stream long. Thank you to Hooligram. Thank you, Adam, Carl, and Lisa, and Dee Dee. You guys are fucking amazing in every way, shape, and form. You guys are fantastic in every way, shape, and form, and I would be absolutely nothing without you guys. You guys are absolutely the one reason why I continue to do this. And I could not be any more thankful for you guys. We got plenty more to talk about. Including Lisa's favorite. So, Dynamite. Pretty solid show. Dynamite was a pretty solid show. We had MJF's music hitting the PA system, but out came CM Punk. And the crowd booed the shit out of him. And that was a great thing to see. Punk soaked it in. And Punk was just ragging on Long Island. He goes, "That's all you got? Chicago, it's so much louder." So just soaking it all in, just hammering it home. He goes, "I certainly don't disappoint, unlike your guy, MJF. This is your guy?" So he took off the shirt. And it was a Four Pillars shirt, but instead of MJF, it had Britt Baker, which was great. He goes, "He was better than Roddy Piper. This is your guy?" The Islanders, he was talking about the Islanders beating some Joe Schmo team. I can't remember what team. I don't fucking watch hockey. But he goes, "It's like me beating QT Marshall. I wanted to see how the world would react to all of this. MJF is your guy. I'm not mad. I just feel a little sorry for you. I got my eyes set on Bryan Danielson versus Adam Hangman Page." And he goes, "I'm pretty sure MJF has his eyes set on him on that match as well. We got to settle this before one of us, preferably me, challenges for the AEW championship." Crowd chanted, "Shut the fuck up." Punk was just soaking it all in. Punk said, "Larry, he has more balls than MJF and he's neutered. If that's your hero, I understand, since the Islanders haven't won anything since about 1984. I want MJF one-on-one. I want you to stand and fight like we do in Chicago. MJF versus CM Punk. I'll do it right here tonight." But unfortunately, MJF is an incel. Punk then soaked in all the heat, and then he left. Awesome. I love this, and I don't even mind the fact that CM Punk got booed. This right here is great. This is great because this just plays up to that hometown type feeling. It's almost like what would happen if the Giants, they were facing the Patriots back in 2012 in the World Series, in the fucking Super Bowl. Keep thinking World Series because baseball season just ended. So the Super Bowl. They were fighting the Patriots in the Super Bowl, were the New York Giants. And a lot of people were saying that everyone should go into New York with a sign that says, "Go Patriots." You would get eaten up alive. This is pretty much it. CM Punk going into enemy territory and shitting on the crowd because they're MJF superfans. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it at all. Matter of fact, this heel work by Punk was great, and it's just adding more layers onto this program with MJF and Punk. It's great. It's awesome. So then we get a fantastic fucking MJF promo. Fantastic fucking MJF promo talking about how he was a linebacker in fucking high school or whatever, a fullback, whatever his position might have been. He had his Long Island jacket. And then he gets the only entrance in the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. Crowd fucking pops for him. He was fucking smiling. He was soaking in the crowd. I loved it. And you know what? It was a great moment for him. So we get the Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. It was pretty standard Battle Royal, but it was very good for what it was. It was rather interesting. Hobbs, he then took out Sydal. Matt Hardy, he knocked out Jay Lethal with brass knuckles, so we could see a feud between Jay Lethal and Matt Hardy, which I would not mind. I think that would be a very good match. Sydal and Dante faced off before Hobbs and Wardlow took them out. They had a nice exchange, a nice back and forth. Lio Rush then took out Hobbs. Ricky Starks was shocked. MJF kept going up on the apron and putting his hands up, soaking in the crowd reaction. Wardlow, Lee Johnson, and Lio Rush, they were all eliminated by MJF. And MJF soaked in everything, just like Lisa was fucking soaked. Wardlow was fucking pissed. Team Taz was left. And Dante Martin, he threw Ricky Starks out of the ring, betrayed Team Taz, and we get Dante Martin and MJF next week at Winter is Coming for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and that is going to be great. Afterwards, MJF then shook Dante's hand. He raised it, very, very uncharacteristically like MJF. Afterwards, Ricky Starks then attacked Dante. MJF ran back to the ring. He stood face-to-face with Ricky Starks. Great tease. And then MJF ended up attacking Dante Martin with Starks. And then Starks and Punk had a face-off. And then we caught an enziguri by Dante and a GTS by Punk to Starks. Punk versus Starks, take my fucking money there. Take my money. That's going to be good. Dante, I gotta say, I'm really loving what Dante Martin's doing. I am loving the fact that Dante Martin is getting a lot of shine. I think Dante Martin has tremendous fucking upside. And it's going to be a really, really, really great moment when we inevitably get Dante Martin reaching that next level, especially if we get his brother Darius coming back. They're aligned with Lio Rush. That's going to be great. That's going to be awesome. So after that, we had an 8-man tag. We had the Acclaimed. We had the Acclaimed and 2.0. They took on the Varsity Blondes and Jurassic Express. And this was it's a very fun match. Wasn't really all that crazy, but it was a very, very, very fun match. Nothing too over the top, nothing too crazy, but we did get a very fun match, and it was a nice showcase for these 4 teams. And ultimately, Jurassic Express, they were going to get the win because they are ultimately facing the Lucha Bros at Battle of the Belts on Saturday, January 8th. Lucha Bros and Jurassic Express will be at Battle of the Belts with Christian Cage turning heel. So we had a big plancha over the top by Griff Garrison before Brian Pillman was isolated. Luchasaurus got the tag with a couple of splashes in the corner. He choke slammed Bowens onto Caster. We had a tag Jungle Boy. Everyone started getting their shit in. Daniel Garcia got involved before Eddie Kingston took out Daniel Garcia. Max Caster then missed the mic drop. Jungle Boy with the snare trap, and Jungle Boy makes Max Caster tap out as Jurassic Express continue their winning streak, and they will ultimately get the tag team title match against the Lucha Bros, which will be fantastic. Good stuff. Afterwards, Kingston went to the back. He was with Ortiz, and we inevitably got 2.0 and Daniel Garcia attacking Kingston and Ortiz. We could be setting up a 6-man tag between the Proud and Powerful and Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia and 2.0. That should be good. We move on to a very, very good tag team match. A great fucking match between Rocky Romero, Chuck Taylor, and the Young Bucks. This was a very nice showcase. Loved it for what it was. So, we had a suicide dive by Rocky Romero and a wrecking ball drop kick. Then all of a sudden, we had Romero getting isolated. Matt did a backflip onto a rake. A backflip into a back rake on Romero's back. Looked very, very funny. Romero then fought back, tagged to Chuck Taylor. Taylor then caught, I believe it was Matt with a DDT and a Tope Con Hero. We had a double super kick on Taylor, super kick on Rocky Romero. The Bucks were in control. Nick with a senton to Chuck Taylor off the apron and another senton in the ring. Coming back from commercial, Romero lit up the Bucks. We had a super Hurricane Rana to the floor on Nick Jackson. Sliced bread in the ring for a 2. We then had Soul Food on Nick Jackson by Chuck Taylor. Locomotion Northern Lights by Matt. A big DDT by Romero. Both men were down. Cassidy and Adam Cole had a face-off. Nick Jackson then super kicked Orange Cassidy. The ref was pulled out of the way. And we get a cold spray into the eyes of Matt Jackson accidentally. Rocky Romero rolled up Matt for a damn near close 2 count. Nick Jackson got taken out. Romero with another close 2 count. Meltzer driver connects, and the Bucks win a great fucking tag team match. Afterwards, the Best Friends were attacked. Cassidy was being set up for the Panama Sunrise, and he got it. 3-way BTE trigger setup. All of a sudden, Sue, Trent's mom, Sue, drives out to the fucking ring, and Trent makes his return. He looked fucking great. He looked shredded. We get fucking Trent coming back with a shaved head, new hairstyle. He looked awesome, and the babyface team ended up standing tall. Awesome stuff right here. Great match. And Trent, he looks great. Very happy to see Trent back. But ultimately, this is all leading to Cassidy versus Adam Cole, which is going to be fucking awesome. It's going to be great. Cody interrupted a promo with Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara was being interviewed by Tony Schiavone. The crowd booed as Cody came out, and he goes, "From one good guy to another," wink, wink, he knows what he's doing, "your open challenge has been fulfilled. You'll be defending the TNT title against me on Christmas Day Rampage. Good luck, kid." And then Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, they were in the crowd. They were complaining that Cody was kissing Tony Khan's ass. Dan Lambert, he got me my title match, and Dan Lambert will be coming back. And my God, do I love me some Dan Lambert. So then afterwards, we had Scorpio Sky saying, "Don't give this guy an interview or give him some balls. Stop calling yourself a champion and prove that you are one." So that should be good. I'm very interested to see what they do with Scorpio Sky. I actually hope that Scorpio Sky gets a shot at Adam Hangman Page because he's in the top 5. Scorpio Sky's in the top 5. I'd love to see Scorpio Sky versus Adam Hangman Page at Battle for the Belts. I'd go with that. So we then went into Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter versus Riho. This was a great fucking match right here. Let me tell you something. Riho can take a fucking beating. That woman is small, but holy shit, she can take a fucking ass whooping. And I mean a fucking ass whooping. Jamie Hayter, let me tell you something. Jamie Hayter's really broken out. She's been putting on some excellent matches with Thunder Rosa and Riho. And I'm telling you, when Jamie Hayter eventually breaks away from Britt Baker, it's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a big deal for Jamie Hayter. And I honestly believe that Jamie Hayter could very well be next in line to win the TBS championship after Ruby Soho. Because Ruby Soho is ultimately getting that title. But, man, Jamie Hayter's doing some awesome work. So, this was a great match right here. Riho was caught by Jamie Hayter. She was tossed into the post and then onto the floor. Hayter was in control before Riho came back with a roll-through double stomp. We had a snap dragon suplex for a 2. A beautiful fucking brain buster by Jamie Hayter. I thought Riho might have been fucking knocked out for good. Not a blockbuster. A backbreaker by Jamie Hayter for a 2. Fucking brutal backbreaker. We had a big high knee by Riho and a beautiful fucking code red for a 2. Diving foot stomp. Hayter still kicked out. Riho went up to the top. Rebel then tried to cause a distraction. Jamie Hayter picked up Riho on her shoulders. Riho countered with a crucifix bomb, folded Jamie Hayter in half, and then she hit the running double knees for the win. Very, very, very good match. Awesome stuff. Loved it. Riho and Baker come battle for the belts. Battle for the belts is looking like a fucking pay-per-view in its own right. You got fucking Riho and Britt Baker. You got the Lucha Bros Jurassic Express, potentially Adam Hangman Page and Scorpio Sky. That's a damn good fucking card. That's a damn good fucking card. Good stuff there. Ruby Soho, Ty Conti, and Anna Jay will take on Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny on Rampage. Lucha Bros took on FTR. Adam Cole and Wheeler Yuta was the main event. And Hook, the legend Hook, Captain Hook, Hook made his debut on Rampage, which we will talk about. Next week, we got MJF and Dante Martin, Dynamite Diamond Ring, Serena Deeb and Hikaru Shida. And then we also got Matt Sydal and Wardlow. Should be damn good next week. I'm liking it. Varsity Blondes, they were having an interview. The lights went out. Lights came back on. Malachi Black was there. He sprayed black mist in the eyes of Julia Hart. Julia Hart was screaming in agony, and then Malachi Black disappeared. So Malachi Black, he's continuing to get built up. He's continuing to win matches. He's going to beat Brian Pillman Jr. before we inevitably get Malachi Black versus Sammy Guevara at Revolution. It's going to be damn fucking good. Just you wait. It's going to be damn fucking good. Bryan Danielson. He took on Johnny Hungy, Mr. John Silver. Very good match right here. Nothing all too crazy, but this was a very, very good match. Silver hit a very nice powerbomb and a heel hook on Bryan Danielson. Danielson inevitably got to the ropes. Silver with a cannonball off the apron. Some stiff kicks by Silver. Danielson with a kick of his own. Silver with a punt kick and a big German suplex for a 2. Bryan Danielson with a rolling elbow and a Gotch-style pile driver. And John Silver, he was knocked fucking out. Knocked out. Afterwards, Bryan Danielson ran down the Dark Order members that he kicked their heads in. And he promised to kick Silver's head in. And he was going to do just that. Page then came out and we get a big brawl. And Adam Page ends it by saying, "I'm going to kick the cowboy shit out of you." Awesome. Awesome show for AEW Dynamite. And Winter is Coming is going to be fucking great. I am very much looking forward to seeing Winter is Coming. It's going to be awesome. Just you wait. We are going to get a big fucking show. Awesome stuff right here from AEW. Thank you guys for sticking by the chat. You guys have been fantastic. I am loving every minute of it. It has been awesome from the word go. Awesome, 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 awesome stuff. And I am very much looking forward to seeing what the future holds for the DJ Storms brand for sure. We're going to go over NXT UK in just a minute. We're going to go over NXT UK in just a minute. We got a lot of shit to talk about still as far as NXT UK goes. It's going to be damn good. So I want everyone to remember, everyone's got to remember that we are going to be having the LFU next week. We're going to be having the LFU next week. We are going to have the rundown for WWE Day One. That's going to be on New Year's Eve because WWE Day One's on New Year's Day. And then, of course, I will be doing a rewind for Day One as well that weekend. I'm also going to be doing a rewind for Battle of the Belts. It's going to be damn good. Lots of shit coming along. As far as the brand goes. It's going to be a very fun time. But for now, we're on the road to Christmas. We're relaxing. I greatly appreciate all of you. And we're going to get right into NXT UK. We got a lot from NXT UK. Well, specifically, the show was built around Mustache Mountain versus Pretty Deadly. To answer your question, Rob Wells Jr., I've thought about it, but I really like to keep everything open. I really like to keep my channel as an open door, even for those that haven't subscribed. Yeah, we do get a few trolls here and there, but I like having things open regardless, if you understand what I mean. But NXT UK, pretty solid show. We did get two major things happening on the show. The tag team title match was one of them. The other one was the fact that Jordan Devlin has stepped up to Ilya Dragunov. Jordan Devlin has indeed stepped up to Ilya Dragunov, and we could very well be getting that match sooner rather than later. And I think it's too early. We're going to talk about that soon. Blair Davenport, she took on Amelia McKenzie. Really nothing special here, just a typical 7-minute match between Blair Davenport and Amelia McKenzie. Blair was trying to wear down Amelia McKenzie. McKenzie came back with a nice spear for a 2. We had a drop kick by Blair Davenport, a big German suplex. That got a 2 count. We had a V-trigger or a B-trigger because her real name's B. Priestley. So a B-trigger and a Falcon Arrow. And Blair Davenport defeats Amelia McKenzie. Nothing special. But afterwards, Blair Davenport challenged Meiko Satomura. She put Amelia McKenzie in the STF and said, hey, Meiko, final boss versus the top gaijin. So we could be getting that match sooner rather than later. I would not mind that. I think that Meiko has held that title for a considerable amount of time, and I think it's time that we get Meiko and Blair Davenport. Hopefully we can get that sometime in the new year. I think that would be a very, very, very good match. And I see Blair Davenport winning. I see Blair Davenport getting that title. Jordan Devlin came out, and he goes, it's time that we get on the same page here. I am the franchise player. I am the ace of this brand. And it's time for me to take the NXT UK title. You can come out to my ring, Ilya Dragunov, and I'll show these people what an embarrassment you are, said Jordan Devlin. So Dragunov came out. He goes, I already appreciate your abilities in this ring. But where I come from, we don't talk too much. If you wanted a match with me, why don't you just ask for it? Devlin goes, I know you've defended that title against good men, honorable men that will tell you that this match is sacred. But I'm nothing like those men. I'm not going to quit. There is nothing more sacred to me than the NXT UK title. And I'll end your career to take that title, and I won't lose a wink of sleep. Dragunov goes, there's nothing that you can do to make me nervous or scared. I'm prepared for everything. So Devlin was about to walk away. And then he turns around and he goes, hey, listen, Dragunov, I hope you know what you're getting yourself into. He goes, I hope your wife at home forgives you for it, and I hope that you have to explain to your son, Constantine, right, why he had to grow up taking care of his daddy. So this obviously angered Dragunov. So he swung, and we get a brawl. We had a very nice promo, a really good brawl. I'm liking it already. This right here, this has the potential to be a match of the year fucking candidate right here. This is some good fucking shit right here. However, it's too early. You're really going to give us this match after Dragunov has only held the title for, 5 months? You're really going to give us this match this early? I don't know about you, but I feel as though it's too early for this match. And this is almost a problem that NXT UK has had. Rampage Brown went down with an injury. You don't really have too many individuals that can fight for the NXT UK Championship. A-Kid, Rampage Brown, and Jordan Devlin. That's pretty much it. I mean, maybe we can get a Nathan Fraser, but he's competing against A-Kid, and the winner faces Dar for the #1 contendership for the Heritage Cup. I don't even know who else is there to fight for the NXT UK Championship. I don't even fucking know. To be quite honest with you, I would fucking bring Pete Dunne back. I would fucking bring Pete Dunne back, and I would do Pete Dunne versus Ilya Dragunov. Or if you want to, I would absolutely give Walter a rematch. Do Walter and Dragunov one more time. At least build upon Dragunov's reign. Don't just put him against Jordan Devlin right now, because if Devlin goes up against Ilya Dragunov, then Devlin's going to have to win. Devlin is the guy, but it's too early for this feud. And it goes to show you that their main event scene's kind of lacking. They haven't really built up too many individuals. We could get Joe Coffey. We could get Joe Coffey again, but they're caught up in a feud with Tio Man, Rohan Raja, and Charlie Dempsey. I don't know. Sam Gradwell, he took on Mr. Shaw Samuels. Not a bad match here. Not a bad match here at all. Samuels with a belly-to-belly suplex for a 2. Dar and Sam had a nice back and forth. He faked out Dar. Dar was choking. He faked out that Dar was choking him with Shaw Samuels' scarf. So the ref caught him. He was caught up with Dar. Gradwell, this was great. I laughed at this shit right here. Gradwell rolled up the scarf and he whipped Shaw Samuels in the balls. So like picture him rolling up the scarf and he was just like, whew, whipped him right in the balls. So Shaw Samuels got whipped with the scarf in the testicles. Then Sam Gradwell threw the scarf up. He laughed. And then he gave Shaw Samuels a Meishinuku driver for the win. 1, 2, 3, and Shaw Samuels falls to Sam Gradwell. I didn't mind it. I didn't necessarily mind it. I thought it was great. And I actually love Sam Gradwell. I think Sam Gradwell's awesome. He's grown on me. Next week, we got Nathan Fraser and A-Kid. #1 contenders match. The winner will receive a match against Noam Dar for the Heritage Cup Championship. Hibiki, you made it just in time because I'm about to talk about the main event from NXT UK, which was a Mustache Mountain versus Pretty Deadly for the NXT UK Tag Team titles. This was excellent. This was pay-per-view worthy. If this was in front of a packed arena of fans, not 50 to 60 fucking people, if this match was in front of a packed arena of fans, I am telling you right now, this would have been the best tag team match of the year. This match was excellent. Pay-per-view worthy. Pretty Deadly, let me tell you something about Pretty Deadly. I soured on Pretty Deadly. I did not see Pretty Deadly as anything of substance. They were fucking jobbers. They didn't mean anything. They looked like jobbers. They acted like jobbers. I did not see anything of value in Pretty Deadly. None. Holy shit, did they prove me wrong. Holy shit, did they prove me wrong. And listen, I admit when I'm wrong. Contrary to popular belief, I do admit when I'm wrong. I was dead wrong about Pretty Deadly. I said it once, I'll say it again. I'm a big advocate for Pretty Deadly. A very big advocate for Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly have really grown into a top tag team. They are a great heel tag team. They may have the jobber look, but holy shit, they play the typical pretty boy heel so fucking well. They play that typical pretty boy heel so fucking well. They really do. Awesome stuff by Pretty Deadly. They have the look. They have like the long, luxurious hair. They look like gay fashion models, which I love their look. I think it's annoyingly great. It makes people want. They have these faces. They have these faces about them that makes you want to see them get beat. They have these stereotypical pretty boy baby faces that make you want to see them get their head kicked in. And that right there, that makes a great heel tag team. Pretty Deadly are fucking great. And I'm even going to go on record and say that they've had the best NXT UK tag team title reign in the history of the title so far. This was awesome. Their reign was great. Their reign was a reign that legitimately made them feel like champions. They had great matches with literally everyone you put them in the ring with. They beat some of the top tag teams in NXT UK, Gallus and Subculture and Mustache Mountain. They were fucking great. Pretty Deadly. Awesome they are. So, Mustache Mountain. I look at the story of Mustache Mountain and I attribute the story of Mustache Mountain to that of Adam Hangman Page. When Mustache Mountain, they said they were going to be the first NXT UK Tag Team Champions. They didn't get the job done. They didn't get the job done at NXT TakeOver Blackpool, and then began a long journey, a 3-year journey to get to where they are now. Long-term booking. That's what I love about NXT UK. The only brand in WWE that still has long-term booking. But Pretty Deadly, they were the stereotypical pretty boy heel tag team. And Mustache Mountain, they were the underdog babyface tag team. The babyface tag team that everyone wanted to see win. Everybody wanted to see win. So, we had this match being played out, and I said to myself, there's no way that Mustache Mountain doesn't win. There's no way that Mustache Mountain doesn't win. I know Hibiki and I, we were arguing back and forth. He thought that they were going to build up Jack Stars and Dave Mastiff to take the titles off of Pretty Deadly. Listen, they have potential to be a good babyface tag team, but the top babyface tag team is Mustache Mountain. There's no bigger tag team than Mustache Mountain. Mustache Mountain was going to win this match. There's no way that you have an NXT UK tag team title created and you don't give Mustache Mountain at least one reign. There's no way. There's no way. He said that they were going to split up Mustache Mountain and have Trent Seven turn heel. Listen, I see that happening. I agree with you. That's going to happen, but it ain't going to fucking happen until after they get a tag team title reign. The story is the same thing as Omega and Hangman Adam Page. Now, we will inevitably see Tyler Bate have the Adam Hangman Page moment, and Trent Seven is going to have the Kenny Omega moment where he turns heel. Simple. Matter of fact, here's what I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't fucking mind this. I wouldn't fucking mind if Trent Seven ends up turning heel. He becomes a top fucking heel. He takes the fucking title off of Ilya Dragunov, and we get Seven versus fucking Tyler Bate for the NXT UK Tag Team title. That right there would be great. That would be awesome. But Trent Seven and Tyler Bate, there's no way that they weren't going to win this match. Seven was isolated. He took a beating from Pretty Deadly before he inevitably made the tag to Bate. We had an exploder suplex to Mr. Sam Stoker, a big uppercut on Lewis Howley. We had a Tyler driver on Howley, but he kicked out. We had an assisted gut buster by Pretty Deadly. Looked very good. That got a 2 count. Trent Seven, he got the tag. He had a DDT and a 7 stars lariat to Howley, but Howley kicked out. Really nice near fall there. Stoker, he hit a roll-through back mule kick, which looked great. And then they took out Tyler Bate. They hit spilt milk on Trent Seven. And Trent Seven was down. Bate broke up the pin. Really good spot right there. Pretty Deadly. Then caught Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate went for a suicide dive. They caught Tyler Bate. He hit spilt milk on the outside to Tyler Bate. And then in the ring, we had an assisted code breaker on Trent Seven. And then Trent Seven got power bombed onto Stoker's knees. Seven kicked out. Pretty Deadly were getting desperate now. Pretty Deadly brought the belt in. They distracted the ref with one belt, and they hit Trent Seven with the other championship belt. Seven was down with a 1-2, but he kicked out. Kicked out. Nigel McGuinness is going great. He is going fucking crazy on commentary. He's channeling his inner Stone Cold. What? He can't fucking believe it. All of a sudden, we had a Snapdragon suplex to Sam Stoker. Bate, then with the Tyler driver. Trent Seven then hoisted up Sam Stoker on top of his shoulders. He hit the Burning Hammer on Lewis Howley onto Sam Stoker. Both men were on top of each other, and we had a fucking spiral tap by Tyler Bate onto both men, right onto each other. 1, 2, 3, and we have new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Excellent fucking match. The right outcome, and Pretty Deadly are no longer the champions, and now we build towards the breakup. And I can absolutely see Teal Man's stable. I can see Teal Man's stable potentially taking the titles off of Mustache Mountain. I think that would be great. That would be awesome. Excellent match. Right outcome. Mustache Mountain are the new champions. And now we build towards the inevitable breakup with Teal Man's stable taking the titles off of Mustache Mountain in the near future. Awesome stuff here. Awesome stuff. Great way to cap off 2021 for Mustache Mountain. But let me tell you something. Great way to cap off 2021 for Mustache Mountain, but 2021 was the year of fucking Pretty Deadly. Hands down. It was the year of Pretty Deadly. So, after that, we go to SmackDown. We'll talk about SmackDown in just a bit. I hope everyone is doing all right. You guys have been fantastic. You guys have been fantastic since the start. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys have been the top dogs here, just like me. I'm a fucking top dog. Ain't nobody fucking better than DJ motherfucking Storms. But anyway, we got a lot more to discuss. We're going to talk about SmackDown, which was fucking terrible. And I mean fucking terrible was SmackDown. So, SmackDown had one good segment on it. It was the opening segment. We had Sami Zayn being wheeled out in a fucking wheelchair. Sami Zayn got wheeled out in a fucking wheelchair. And he was wheeled out by male nurses, as Brock Lesnar called them. Male nurses. So, he took the mic and he goes, "My name is Sami Zayn. My name is Sami Zayn. And I am the toughest man in WWE," he says. He goes, "It took the two most dominant athletes in WWE history to put me in this wheelchair. Two guys that can't stand each other worked to put me in this wheelchair. What really hurt me was the betrayal. Now I have to do what's right. Now I have to sue. I'm going to sue Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, the referee. I'm going to sue everyone that robbed me. Paul Heyman then came out. He was shitting all over Sammy. And he goes, "You're doing my people's shtick. My people own Hollywood to begin with." So Sammy got angry. Paul Heyman was ignoring him. He goes, "I happen to know that Roman isn't here. But you're here, aren't you? I'm a world-class athlete, and I will rip your head off. There is no one to save you." All of a sudden, we hear that music, that guitar riff. Brock Lesnar comes out. He brought in a chair. He sat in a chair, and then Heyman gave Lesnar the mic. Brock goes, "How you doing, buddy?" said Lesnar. And he goes, "I think we got off on the wrong foot. You got a wheelchair, a neck brace, male nurses." He goes, "I apologize. On a scale from 1 to 10, how bad does it really hurt?" Sammy goes, "Physical pain is a 10, but my feelings are a 20. Brock asks, "Did you ever think you were going to beat Roman? I did you a favor. You weren't going to beat Roman." So Sammy tried to add up the dots, and he goes, "So you beat me down, so when Roman beat me, Roman's victory over me doesn't count?" And Lesnar goes, "There, now you're getting it." So Lesnar was speaking in French. He was speaking in French to try and lighten up the mood. Brock then, he tried to wheel Sammy out. He's like, let's go hunting. Let's go hunting. Come on. So Heyman goes, "What the hell am I watching? 3 years ago, that would have been a one-way ticket to Suplex City. Now I'm watching Canadian besties about to go moose hunting in Saskatchewan?" So Heyman, I laughed my ass off when Heyman said that. That was fucking hilarious. Brock Lesnar then attacked the male nurses. Then he attacked Sammy. F5 on Sammy. And Pat McAfee said my favorite line of the night, "We're gonna need another neck brace." Now, first off, my first thought, positive thing first. This was fucking great. This was fucking hilarious. Fucking awesome. Brock Lesnar and Sami Zayn have such natural chemistry. I never would have thought that these would have been the back and forth segments that I need. This was great. Brock Lesnar has single-handedly knocked it out of the park with his singular promo work. It's great. The other thing is a negative, and that's Sami Zayn. WWE is showing you exactly what they think of Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is nothing more than a piece of meat for the top stars to ragdoll. WWE sees no value in Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is going to be on his way out the door sooner rather than later. It's sad to see, because Sami Zayn is one of the most underappreciated individuals in WWE history, and he's treated like a fucking joke. You know what else is a joke? Los Lotharios and Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura won with a Kinshasa within 2 minutes. I don't understand how anyone could be happy with what we saw in that match. Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion, and yet he's being pushed in a tag team with Rick Boogs. Now, the pairing's great. The entrance is awesome. I love them together. But why exactly did Nakamura win the fucking Intercontinental title if you were going to have him and Boogs pushed in the tag team division? I would not mind at all having Nakamura and Rick Boogs built up to take the titles off of the Usos, then segueing into a match with Roman and Nakamura. That would be great. I wouldn't mind that at all. But why exactly did Nakamura win the title? If you weren't going to focus on Nakamura and the Intercontinental Championship, why did he beat Apollo Crews? Why exactly didn't Cesaro win the fucking championship? It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid. Unbelievable. Kofi Kingston was in the back. a bunch of people that are going to be on Nick Khan's cutting list. I think that's a joke, but it's not. Kofi then presented King Woods with a new crown, and it had a big X on it for Xavier. This is your weekly reminder that Xavier Woods is one of the worst King of the Ring winners in modern wrestling history. Maybe even wrestling history altogether. King Woods is a fucking terrible King of the Ring winner. All he's doing is the same shit that he's doing with Kofi Kingston. He's speaking in terrible royal accents. He's feuding with the fucking Usos like we haven't seen that one before. And now he's wearing a crown that looks like it came straight out of a fucking anime porno. King Woods sucks. King Woods sucks. Adam Pearce. He had a face-off with Drew McIntyre. He had a face-off with Drew McIntyre, and Drew was told that he could not bring his sword to the ring with him, so he stuck it in Pearce's desk. He stuck it in Pearce's desk. And then what do we get? We get a rematch. Oh, wow, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. God, what fresh and riveting television. Drew McIntyre and fucking Sheamus. Haven't seen that one before. Where's Ridge Holland? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, he's going to be on Nick Khan's cutting list. Listen, this was a very good match for the short time that it went, but as if we haven't seen this one before. It's a fine match, but still. So this was very, very physical. Sheamus with an Irish Curse backbreaker for a 2. We had a Future Shock DDT and a kip up by Drew. Sheamus with a punt knee strike. Great looking spot right there. Drew with double headbutts. Drew then rebound out of the corner and hit the Claymore for the 1-2-3. Drew McIntyre gets the win. Can I ask a question here? Why is Drew McIntyre legitimately the only guy in WWE right now that's being built up through legitimate wins to fight Roman Reigns or fight a champion in general? Why is it that Drew is the only guy being built up legitimately to fight a champion? Drew McIntyre is legitimately the only legit challenger that Roman Reigns has outside of Brock Lesnar. It's fucking stupid. Drew McIntyre should not be the only one winning matches on television. Everyone that you have faith in, everyone that is a top star with potential should be being built up to fight the champions. That's how you build legitimate challengers. Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville took on Naomi, or what was supposed to be Naomi. Naomi cut a promo saying to take off the suit and come out here and get this glow. Sonya came out. She looked great. She asked for a mic, and she goes, "First, I have a couple of surprises. Natalya as your special guest ring announcer and Shayna Baszler as your special guest timekeeper." Naomi then attacked Shayna and Natalya. Sonya ran off. Sonya then ordered Shayna and Natalya to swarm Naomi. All of a sudden, Xia Li then came out. Xia Li then came out. She looked like she was dressed for Mortal Kombat. She looked good. Xia then came out. She took out Natalya. Naomi took out Baszler. And Sonya got struck by none other than Xia Li. And Xia and Naomi stood tall. Probably the only logical way to debut Xia Li, considering she hates bullies. But do you really expect me to have faith that Xia Li is going to be booked properly on the main roster? Of course not. Of course not. Xia Li is going to be released within 8 weeks. Just watch. You know what was fucking terrible? Toni Storm versus Charlotte Flair. Toni Storm versus Charlotte Flair. You pretty much already know the drill with this. But here's what I fucking can't stand. I cannot fucking stand anyone that says that Charlotte Flair is the best women's wrestler in WWE. She's not. She's not. I can name you 10 individuals who are better than Charlotte Flair, who are currently in WWE right now. Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Zoe Stark, Io Shirai, Toni Storm, Dakota Kai, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi Blackheart, Raquel Gonzalez. Those 10 women are immensely better than Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair fucking sucks dick. She's a good wrestler, but in no way, shape, or form is she the best women's wrestler in the company. I have Charlotte Flair. Some of my friends are Charlotte Flair fans. Stop letting your fucking fandom blind you from the truth. Naomi's a fucking better wrestler than Charlotte Flair. At least Naomi actually sells and makes her opponents look good. Charlotte Flair has shown you that she does not give a shit about anything. Asuka's better than Charlotte Flair. I'm naming more people who are better than Charlotte Flair. Asuka's better than Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has had all but 2 good matches within the last 3 fucking years. And both of them were with Becky. I can't fucking stand Becky, but even she's better than Charlotte. 2 good matches within 3 years does not count as memorable. Does not count as the greatest of all time. Does not count as the best women's wrestler in the company. If Charlotte was the best women's wrestler in the company, every single match that she had would be memorable. If Charlotte Flair was the best women's wrestler in the company, if she was the Roman Reigns of the women's division, every single match that she would have had would have been memorable. Everyone remembers everything that Roman Reigns has been doing ever since his fucking Universal title reign started. Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, Big E. Everyone remembers everything that Roman Reigns has done. People don't remember jack shit from what Charlotte Flair's done in the past because she sucks donkey testicles. Charlotte Flair in no way, shape, or form is the best women's wrestler in the company. And if you actually legitimately believe that, I'm sorry. You're a fucking retard. That's not even an opinion. That's just pure fucking stupidity. Charlotte Flair is a selfish cunt that does not give a fuck. She doesn't make anyone look good. She accepts her booking because at the end of the day, she knows that the people in charge are going to fucking cater to her. And at the end of the fucking day, Charlotte Flair is a bum. She's a bum. She's an absolute bum when it comes to her in-ring work, especially in the last 3 years. She's complacent. She is an absolute embarrassment. She is everything that the women's division should not be. Until Charlotte Flair can wrestle like fucking Kenny Omega every single time that she comes out, then we can talk. I'm not even gonna mention Kenny Omega until she wrestles as good as fucking Bianca Belair. Because Bianca Belair, she's better than 90% of the entire roster. When Charlotte Flair can wrestle as good as Bianca Belair, then you come and talk to me. Until then, sit your fucking ass down, shut your mouth, and only speak when I speak to you. I'm the king here. You're the peasants. Charlotte Flair tried to copy Andrade's moonsault. Even though they've reportedly split up, she's still doing Andrade's moves. Looked terrible. It really did. And stop fucking blaming Toni Storm for being out of position. Charlotte Flair is the best women's wrestler in the company, right? Shouldn't she know where the positioning should be? Shouldn't she know where her feet should be planted, where her opponent should be? Don't you think that she knows what to do in a scenario in which she would screw up? But she doesn't now, does she? She doesn't now, does she? You know why? Because she sucks! I would rather stare at a fucking cat's anus than watch Charlotte Flair attempt the moonsault. I want everyone to understand this. Charlotte Flair should not be doing top rope moves at all. You know why? Because bitches can't fly. Toni Storm was beaten and stomped in the fucking corner, in the post, by Charlotte Flair, and she got herself disqualified. She got herself disqualified. Charlotte Flair looks like a fucking idiot. Toni Storm has been embarrassed and buried week after week after week after week. Enough with this fucking championship contenders bullshit. Enough of Charlotte Flair. Get the fucking title off of Charlotte Flair. I'm praying to fucking God. It's not going to happen, but I'm praying to God that Toni Storm wins. Cannot fucking stand this shit. Main event. RK Bro. They had RK Bro come on in from Raw because Roman Reigns wasn't on the show. So you know what? We got to end the fucking brand split for one night. RK Bro comes over. What happens? What happens? I'll tell you what happens. Champions lose. Who were the champions? It was the Usos. The one team that should have taken the loss ends up winning. Cannot fucking stand the New Day. I hope to fucking God that the New Day do not win the titles back. Jesus fucking Christ. I fucking hate this company. I hate this company, and I hate anyone that supports this company and the people that I can't fuck. I fucking hate Charlotte Flair fans. I fucking hate Zelina Vega fans. Fucking hate Jinder Mahal fans. I am in a hating everything type mood right now. I swear to God. Rampage. Rampage is actually a very good show. Thank you, Danielle Wolf and DJ Sums, for stopping by the channel. You guys are great. Please make sure you hit that like button. We're going to talk about Rampage, and then we're going to get on out of here. I'm going to go help my grandmother decorate for Christmas. I'm going to help my grandmother decorate for Christmas. I'm going to eat some nice chicken. It's going to be good. I'm going to relax. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please make sure you hit the like button. Follow me on all social medias. Let's talk about Rampage, and then we're going to get out of here. Very good show for Rampage here. Rampage kicked off with the Lucha Bros. The Lucha Bros versus FTR. Lisa, I'll text you about it later. For sure. Lucha Bros and FTR. AEW World Tag Team Championships. Excellent fucking Tag Team Championship title match. Awesome fucking stuff here. Loved every minute of it. I'm telling you right now, Lucha Bros and FTR. Lucha Bros and FTR are opponents for life. They are opponents for life. They work so well together. They have natural chemistry. I've been loving FTR as the AAA World Tag Team Champions. I think that they are fantastic in that role. I would love to see more of them as the AAA World Tag Team Champions defending it. I love the fact that they're saying Lucha Libre's dead. It's awesome. FTR are fucking workhorses. They're fucking workhorses. So Phoenix was using his quickness early on. FTR was on the defense. Phoenix took over with a Hurricane Rana to Dax. Cash then got the tag. Phoenix tried to make the tag. He got it. Sling blades by Penta and a pump handle driver on Cash for a 2. He kicked out. Phoenix then punched down Tully. Phoenix with punches and a spin kick to FTR. Dax with a beautiful slingshot powerbomb for a 2. Phoenix pulled the title belt out of Cash's hand, and it accidentally hit Dax. The referee didn't see it, so Rey Fenix pulled a little bit of Eddie Guerrero there. He went up to the top. Dax pulled the belt in front of him, and Phoenix landed head first on the belt off the frog splash, which looked awesome. 1, 2. They kicked out. Did Phoenix. Phoenix kicked out, just kicked out. They hit the big rig. It didn't really look like it connected all the way, but they hit the big rig on Mr. Rey Fenix. They hit the big rig. Penta dove onto Dax, onto Cash to save it. Both teams slugged it out. We had a cutter by Phoenix, a gory bomb by Cash. Penta and Phoenix then hit the Fear Factor, and they retained the AEW World Tag Team titles in an excellent tag team title match. Awesome, 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 awesome stuff here. Really, really, really good stuff. I'm loving what they're doing. Great stuff here for Rampage. And Lucha Bros are moving on to Jurassic Express come January 8th. But they're not going to be losing the titles because Christian Cage is going to be turning heel on them. Great match to kick off the show. From there, we moved into Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and The Bunny versus Ty Conti, Anna Jay, and Ruby Soho. Decent little match right here. Was not bad at all, but at the end of the day, this was pretty much just a setup match. A setup match for Ruby Soho versus Nyla Rose, and that's pretty much it. Nyla then took over. She isolated Ty Conti. Ty Conti, my girl. Conti fought back. She got the tag to Ruby. She lit up Ford. Nice STO for a 2. Ruby was isolated by Nyla and company. Anna Jay got the tag. Nice elbow strike and a diving crossbody on Nyla. Super kick by the Bunny. A neck breaker by Nyla on Conti. Ruby hit the no future. We had a snap suplex by Anna Jay on Ford. The Bunny, then behind the referee's back, knocked out Anna Jay with the brass knucks. And then out of nowhere, Nyla Rose with the Beast Bomb. Nyla Rose wins. Nothing special. Decent match, but nothing special. And all this did was solidify the fact that Ruby Soho is going to end up going over. Because Ruby Soho, she is going to be the first ever TBS champion. FTR, they attacked Darby Allin and Sting in the backstage area. And Tully Blanchard said, "One more time, Sting." We got Fuego del Sol versus the legend himself. The man, the myth, the legend of Hook. Hook. Taz's son. Let me tell you something. I gotta tell you here. Hook, he ain't bad at all. Hook ain't fucking bad at all. And I mean, he ain't bad at all. Hook, it's like he's been wrestling for 5 years now. He looked fucking smooth in there. He was moving very smooth. He looked jacked for 22. I feel a little unaccomplished. Jacked for 22. Stiff strikes and a headbutt and a nice gut-wrench suplex by Hook. Fuego tried to mount the comeback, but Hook countered with a big lariat, a front neck lock suplex, and then he locked in a Taz mission in tribute to his father. And Fuego del Sol tapped out. Hook looked awesome. Hook looked awesome. Man, if Hook is this good already, he keeps on developing his skills over the course of the next 2 years, and then he develops a character. I'm telling you, Hook could be a big fucking problem. Really good stuff right here. Loved what they did right here. Hook gets the win over Fuego del Sol in impressive fashion. Good shit right there by Hook. Adam Cole, baby, and Wheeler Yuta. This was probably the best match of Wheeler Yuta's career. Pretty decent main event, nothing too special. Went about 8 minutes. We had some swift back and forth counters early on by both men. Cole tried to wear down Mr. Yuta. We had a punt kick to the face. Yuta then came back with a big crossbody. Yuta then with a big elbow in the corner and a springboard forearm for a 2. Wheeler Yuta ain't bad. Wheeler Yuta ain't bad. We then had a rebound off the ropes into a nice German suplex by Wheeler Yuta for a 2. Yuta then with a modified Olympic slam. He went for the frog splash, but Cole got the knees up. Super kick right to the face. Super kick right to the face. and all of a sudden, the last shot, or the boom, right to the back of the head, and Adam Cole gets the win, as he should, and we will see none other than Adam Cole fight Mr. Adam Page come Revolution. And it's going to be a great fucking match. Really, really, really good stuff there. And we are going to see some really good material. We're going to see some really good material between Adam Page and Adam Cole, baby. Afterwards, the heels stood tall yet again. And we are going to see Adam Cole and Orange Cassidy sooner rather than later. Really good stuff right here. Very good show for Rampage. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Please make sure you follow me on all platforms of social media. Like, comment, and subscribe. We got a lot of good material going on. You guys have been fantastic since day one. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. You guys have a great day. I'm DJ Storms. And of course, this has been the Lightning Flash Update, and I will catch you guys next week. Let's end it on a high note. Ha-ha!